have an idea of what the theme is about. We introduce the theme so that we're in the right space and we're in the right mind together. I'm going to read a few verses for us. Tiffany, if you have those verses up, if not, that's okay. I have them. I will read them from here. Tonight, we're talking about being able to worship God hurt. This is a very unusual type of event. This is not your typical church service. This is all about authenticity with God. Worshiping God hurt. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 3. It says, I am the man who has seen affliction by the rod of the Lord's wrath. He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me again and again, all day long. He has made my skin and my flesh grow old, and he has broken my bones. He has besieged me and surrounded me with bitterness and hardship. He has made me dwell in darkness like those long dead. He has walled me in so I cannot escape. He has weighed me down with chains. Even when I call out or cry for help, he shuts out my prayer. That's the prophet Jeremiah. Who is the person who we say is God's beloved, the man after God's own heart? Fantastic. This is what he has to say in Psalm 22. It says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. By night, but I find no rest. It gets interesting. Verse 6, he says, but I am a worm and not a man. I'm scorned by everyone, despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They hurl insults, shaking their heads. He trusts in the Lord, they say. Let the Lord rescue him. Let the Lord deliver him, since he delights in him. Verse 14 says, I am poured out like water. All my bones are out of joint. My heart has turned to wax. It is melted within me. My mouth is dried up like potsherd, and my tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. You lay me in the dust of death. Dogs surround me. A pack of villains encircles me. They pierce my hands and my feet. All my bones are on display. People stare and gloat over me. They divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. If you've been listening to the words I've been saying, it sounds a little bit familiar. If you go to Matthew chapter 27, verse 46, there, Jesus is on the cross. This is where we're going. By the way, are we all set back here? Great. Here's where we're going with that. Even Jesus came to a point on that cross where he was not trying to have a politically correct conversation with God. On that cross, this was not the moment of, I am the Son of God, so how about we send a few angels and breathe fire on all these people? No. This was Jesus Christ at the very last breath. And what does he do? With his last breath, he starts to quote Psalm 22, written 1,000 years before his time. And what is he trying to tell God? This is not the moment. Now, just work with me here. Jesus already knows that what he's doing is going to be for a good purpose, right? This is mission. Instead of saying, Lord, I'm just so happy we've come to this point. Get it over with so I can come home in 3 days. At that moment, what does Jesus do? Jesus quotes Psalm 22 and starts to say, my God, why have you forsaken me? God, Jesus Christ was trying to describe to his Father exactly what he was feeling, because Psalm 22, as we just read, they've pierced me, my mouth is dry, blood comes out of me, they've pierced my hands. Jesus is trying to say the exact way he's feeling, no filters, unadulterated. That's the conversation Jesus is having. Tonight, folks, is about that type of conversation. As we move forward in today's worship, I want you to be in that space where tonight you're going to have a very, very unfiltered, a very raw conversation with God, because you know what? For many of us, it is not well. Christianese, it's well. How are you, bro? Great, it's well. For some of you in here, it is not well. And tonight, we get to have that conversation with God. So let's just bow our heads and just get in that atmosphere as they lead us. It's going to be a fantastic time in the presence of your Father. Just go in. Don't hold back.